the Oregon Trail and the Trailblazers, a name carved from its history. The Oregon Trail is a great American adventure. It's the story of 500,000 people who left their homes and traveled west for a new beginning in a new land. It was the greatest migration of people in recorded history. Some wished to escape the economic depression back in the States. Others said they came for patriotic reasons, or just to go where they had never been. But one thing they all had in common: when they hit the trail, it was Oregon or bust. Basketball is brought to you by Miller Genuine Draft. It's cold filtered. Get out of the old, tap into the cold. By Toyota and their full line of quality cars and trucks. Toyota, I love what you do for me. By Fred Meyer Stores. Value for your time and money. You'll find it at Fred Meyer. By Alaska Airlines. Rated best in the U.S. by frequent travelers. By ODS Health Plan. Partners in sickness and in health. And by Bank of America, proud sponsors of the Trailblazers. Banking on America, Bank of America. George Wash is the executive producer and director of Trailblazer Basketball, and J.R. Hellman is the coordinating producer.
Good evening, ladies and gentlemen, wherever you may be. Opening night, year number 23, NBA basketball, the Portland Trailblazers and the Denver Nuggets. Hi again, everybody. Bill Shonley, along with our broadcasting partner, Steve Jones. Excitement surrounds this entire arena tonight, Steve.
Shonley, what I want to know is, you know, the Trailblazers got their name with that Oregon Trail, but what is it with the covered wagon? What is that?
Well, this is the 150th anniversary of the Oregon Trail. The pioneers, the first Trailblazers who came across that 6,000-mile trek. And the Blazers, of course, want to be involved, and all year long, they will be.
Before we introduce the Blazers, let's introduce our opponents for tonight's game, the Denver Nuggets. The trainer for the Nuggets is Jim Gillen. Assistant coaches are Mike Evans and Gene Littles. And the head coach of the Denver Nuggets, Dan Issel. A guard, 6'5", from Temple, number 1, Mark Macon. A 6'11" forward center from Arkansas, number 10, Scott Hastings. A 6'2" guard from USC, number 14, Robert Pack. A 6'5" guard from Virginia, number 23, Bryant Stiff. A 6'4" guard from Stanford University, number 24, Todd Lichty. A 6'11" center from St. John's, number 28, Robert Wordan. A 6'8" forward from Southwest Louisiana, number 43, Kevin Brooks. And now the starting five for the Denver Nuggets. At forward, 6'8" from Notre Dame, number 20, LaFonso Ellis. At forward, 6'8" from Illinois, number 30, Marcus Liberty. At center, 7'2" from Georgetown, number 55, Dikembe Mutombo. The guards from Georgetown, 6'7", number 34, Reggie Williams. And at guard, 6'1", from Louisiana State, number 3, Chris Jackson. Ladies and gentlemen, the Denver Nuggets. Fans tonight, you indeed are a very special part of the opening ceremonies. It's time to light up the Coliseum with the Blazer lights. Turn them on. The Blazers capped a great season last year, becoming the Western Conference champions for the second time in 3 years by defeating the Utah Jazz on Thursday, May 28th. In honor of that accomplishment, ladies and gentlemen, may we present the 1991-92 Western Conference Championship banner. Your Western Conference champion, Portland Trail Blazers. A 6'3" guard from DePaul. Please welcome number 1, Rod Strickland. A 6'9" forward from Seton Hall, number 2, Mark Bryant. A 6'10" forward from Connecticut, number 3, Cliff Robinson. From Syracuse, a 6'7" guard. Welcome to Portland, number 4, Dave Johnson. A 6'5" guard from American International, number 17, Mario Elie. A 6'7" forward from UCLA, number 31, Tracy Murray. From TCU, a 6'10" forward, number 54, Reggie Smith. Ladies and gentlemen, let's get fired up for the starting five, the defending Western Conference champions. A 6'7" forward from Longwood College, Virginia, number 25, Jerome Kersey. A 6'8" forward from Maryland, the 91-92 NBA field goal percentage leader, All-NBA defensive team, number 52, Buck Williams. And at center, 7 foot from Eastern Illinois, double O, the Duck, Kevin Duckworth. At the guards, from Wisconsin Stevens Point, 6'3", leader of the pack, number 30, Harry Porter. And at guard, 6'7" from Houston, All-NBA Olympic gold medalist, number 22, Clyde Drexler. The Portland trainer is Mike Sheminski. The assistant coaches are Jack Shello and John Wetzel. And the head coach of the Portland Trailblazers, Rick Edelman.
All is in readiness. The head coach, Rick Edelman, to try and head it up again. What a night we've had thus far, ladies and gentlemen, and we hope you stay right where you are. We'll be back right after these messages.
I feel very good about this team. We've been very successful the last 3 years. The only team that's done better than us is Chicago, and our team knows what it takes. They know how hard they have to work to get anywhere in this league. And we feel good about it. We think that we're as good as anybody in the West and in the league. We just have to go out on the floor and prove it.
Well, most of the players coming this year, Rod Strickland and Mario, will really give us a much deeper bench. And last year we had some difficulties in terms of trying to sustain our leads, and I think these quality basketball players can come in and provide some leadership on Strickland's part and some toughness and ability to get to the basket in Mario's part.
Well, Clyde's hurt, so I was brought in for that reason, just to relieve him. You know, he's been playing, him and Terry have been playing a lot of minutes. So I'm just going to go play some spot minutes for them guys, you know, just try to fit in, try to rebound defense, and try to get guys open, the same role I had down in Golden State.
Live from Portland's Memorial Coliseum, the Portland Trailblazers and the Denver Nuggets on opening night. Again, good evening, everybody, wherever you may be. Bill Schonely along with Steve Jones. They've had the opening festivities. All is in readiness. The big question, Steve, I believe, would be 3 successful years as far as the Blazers are concerned. 5 new changes. Can they go all the way?
Certainly they can go all the way. They hope that the changes will help them. I mean, I think the bigger question is people feel that this team is peaked. It's burned out. It hasn't. They still feel that they have the nucleus. They still feel that they have something to prove, and they want that championship. None of the key players are going to be satisfied until their term runs out. Now, good thing for them, there's no limit. So they can keep going back as long as they get a chance.
The horse, Dan Issel and his squad off to a good start. Big numbers from a lot of their people last night.
Well, it was a great ball game for them last night, simply because it's a new beginning for Denver. And Dan Issel signals some of the great history and prominence of the Denver Nuggets, and to have him back to get that opening night win was a big, big win for them. They're going to have their biggest trouble when they come to the opponent's arenas.
He was telling me a little while ago that some of His younger people are in awe. They played at home last night. They had to travel. They didn't even know where they were earlier today, Dan Issel told me.
He is facing what all veteran coaches know, that you have to keep those people ready every single night. He's got some people that want to play and want to compete. Dikembe Mutombo is the biggest competitor on his team, and now he's trying to find a way to keep the young players. Brian Stiff, who's their #1 pick, along with Wardan, players that can come in and help them. Chris Jackson is expected to have a big season. So if they can do what they're supposed to do, they'll have an outstanding year in terms of improvement. Not in terms of record, but in terms of improvement.
Chris Jackson had 32 big ones last night, and they got a lot of rebounds, too. Now, as far as the Blazers are concerned, in preseason, defense was a little bit on the shaky side.
They played a lot of different combinations. I think you'll see a different defensive scheme from Rick Adelman and, let's say, his solid 5 and the other 3 or 4 guys that he's going to throw in the lineup. And I think they'll have a better idea of how they want to attack their opponent. And whenever you're using people out of position, you're going to find some breakdowns at the defensive end.
I know number 22 is glad to be back in the lineup. He played the last 2 games, but he's ready and able, and he wants to lead his charges.
Somewhat like yourself. Ready and able and wanting to lead your charges.
Thank you.
Clyde is a remarkably resilient player, and even though he's not 100%, having him out on the floor makes it much easier for everyone else to do their job, and that's what he'll look for. He's not going to come out and get 30-plus points as he did in the opening night against Cleveland, but Drexler, he'll be big for certain.
A lot of games in the month of November. 11 games, as a matter of fact, in 21 days.
It's been a good month for the Trailblazers over the last 3 seasons, though. They've been able to jump out of the blocks, set the tone for the season, send a message to the rest of the NBA. So I'm expecting the same thing will happen for them this year.
What about playing time for certain people on the squad, the Tracy Murrays and so forth?
Those are rookies.
I know that. I said playing time for them.
All right.
Wait a minute, Steve. We have a little something here for you, and I think you know what that is. There's a note. Steve. Okay. Okay. Hope this will make your next Hawaiian fishing trip more enjoyable. Bob Cook and Clyde Drexler.
Neither one of them get to go.
Folks, in case you didn't see our special, he fed the Pacific Blue. All right, it's almost time, ladies and gentlemen. First game out of the box, NBA basketball. We'll be back with it all right after these messages. Opening night here at Portland's Memorial Coliseum, the Denver Nuggets, the first opponent for the Portland Trailblazers. Steve, the keys to tonight's bowl game.
Denver is a very interesting team, but what they've got to do is be able to control the tempo. They can't get into a real accelerated game with the Trailblazers. If that should happen, we'll see some big numbers go up in favor of Portland. Portland's got to have an aggressive start. They can't come in here because this is a young opponent and feel that they want to work their way into the game. Both teams have to rebound, and I think one of the keys for the Denver Nuggets is to try to find a way to force some turnovers.
Well, they got off to a great start last night at home, winning only by 4, but they put up some big numbers. The Blazers up and down. They didn't have their full complement in preseason play, but that guy is back, Clyde Drexler, and that makes all the difference in the world. And Jerome Kersey in the last week and a half has been flying up and down the floor like we haven't seen the youngster for some time.
Youngster. That's because you've been around him a long time. But Jerome is ready to play. You know, he comes in, and I think this is a good way for Jerome to set the start of his season. He comes in a little heavy and works himself into shape. He's not out of shape, but the reason that you see him moving quicker, he's lost a little bit more weight. So his quickness is back. His leaping ability is back as well.
Well, we're about ready to toss it up. The officials for tonight's bowl game, Bennett Salvatore with a brand new haircut, I might add. Looks pretty good. Ron Garretson and Mike Callahan. Salvatore, Garretson, and Callahan will work tonight's bowl game. Stay with us, everybody. Halftime, we have some new added features on our telecast this year, and we hope you take the time to stay right with us. Our former radio broadcasting partner, Mike Rice, by the way, will have a little piece of that. He has a little program called A Minute or So.
Or so.
Yeah, we'll find out. He's going to talk about a number of things. And an Oregon Trail special vignette. That's at halftime. But now it's time to play NBA basketball. The Trailblazers and the Denver Nuggets. Opening night of year number 23. Here we go. 81 to follow after tonight. Callahan will toss the ball in the air. Jerome Kersey against the rookie LaFonso Ellis. Nope. Dikembe Mutombo steps in, obviously. It's in the air. Blazers have the ball in the hands of Terry Porter, and here we go. Kersey, Porter, play a little catch. Buck Williams. Drexler up for Williams. Blocked by LaFonso Ellis. Denver with the ball. Jackson trying to get it inside. Batted away. Still Denver ball. 19 seconds on the clock. Drexler got a hand in the way. Marcus Liberty. Mutombo sideline. Liberty curled. They get the ball into Jackson. Ellis, shot clock to 7 now. Williams turns off the curl. Plays a rebound. Still no score. Duckworth to Porter. To Kersey. Puts on the brakes. Duckworth. Will he take the first shot? Drexler. Duckworth. Mutombo's on him. We got a 3-second violation, Steve.
In the first play that the Trailblazers they had good execution. Buck Williams wasn't quite ready to handle a play, had it turned away. You saw the Denver Nuggets at the other end. They like ball movement, player movement, and their key is to find some players going to the hoop. They don't want to have to end up in a position of shooting a lot of jump shots, turnover off Chris Jackson.
Blazers get the ball back. Still no score. 11:03 to go in the opening period of game 1. Denver won their opening game last night. Duckworth out on top. Mutombo playing away. Porter, baseline, double team, puts it up. Score to go. Blazers on the scoreboard. 2-0.
What Porter did against Chris Jackson the last time out was post him up a lot. We'll find out whether they have. You see that mustache Chris Jackson got?
I see that.
It's an odd-looking mustache. Reminiscent of Hitler. Concerned.
Marcus Liberty, baseline. Drexler blocked the shot, but the ball went off. The Denver player out of bounds. Blazer ball.
Ball comes inside. Drexler with the strip, and they get it back. Clyde is very active with his hands, and I think anytime a player shows him the basketball, there's a good chance that he's going to get a hand on it. Duckworth trying to get inside, picks up a foul against LaFonso Ellis, and that's one thing that young player will have to really learn not to do, is to reach and to grab, and if he can stay in the ball game consistently, he's going to be a force for Denver.
Duckworth's free throw was good. In the preseason, the Blazers only shot 41%. Excuse me, about 70% at the free throw line, which is not bad, but they like to up that. They lead right now 3-0. Duckworth gets a pair. It's 4-0. Portland. Ellis from Jackson. Spread the court. Good D on the part of the Blazers. Jackson, baseline. He hits. He had 32 last night. Long pass to Porter in front court. Blazers set it up now to Drexler. Buck Williams out high. Starts to drive at a crowd. Running right-handed hook shot. No good.
Duckworth over the top. Well, what Portland wants to do with Mutombo is clear the lane. Get him out of the lane so that if you're going to have some penetration, he can't come back in and make a block of some sort or bother the shot.
Chris Jackson, 6'1" out of Louisiana State, into his 3rd year. Little guy can play this game. Mutombo, they're keeping him away from the basket for the time being. Denver gets 2 more from outside.
In the passing game, he's not going to get the chance to be the initial option as he was a year ago with Paul Westhead.
Kersey rolls inside, but gets his own rebound. Doesn't drop. Still with the ball. Scramble for it. Tied up. Jump ball. Now, Mercy just continues to get it done. Mr. Hustle all the way.
The best and perhaps the worst of Jerome Kersey right there, his ability to make things happen, and then sometimes his inability to finish a play at point-blank range. Both times came up with nothing.
Dumped it up with Reggie Williams. Drexler for 3. Yes, sir. The first one of the year. Clyde from downtown. 7-4. A drive and off with the left hand of the youngster from Illinois, Marcus Liberty.
Liberty had a real strong game against Portland at the end of the game in the preseason.
Drexler for 3 more. He doesn't get it, but he's fouled. Reggie Williams, he'll go to the line. Clyde Drexler only appeared in 1 game. That was on Monday night back in Springfield, Massachusetts, in the Hall of Fame game. Had 17 points in that game as the horse.
As you look at Dan Issel, a very calm and quiet coach, but those kinds of plays will have him up and very excited. One time you don't want to foul a jump shooter is deep out on the floor, taking a 3-point shot. If it happens to go in, it's a 4-point play.
Wide for 2. 9-6. The Blazers by 3. 8:45 to go in the opening period on opening night. Phoenix in here on Tuesday. Barkley, Ames, the rest of them. Jackson double team, kicked it back to Liberty. Back out to Reggie Williams. Rolled it inside. It's not good. Blazer ball. Porter with it out of the backcourt. Mutombo and Duckworth works him. Duck hook. Good. Duckworth. Low box area right side. Dropped it down. He's got 4 in the game. 11-6. Reggie Williams for 3. No. Jackson on Porter. Gonna drive. Leaves it for Duck. 8-footer. Denver with the ball. Drexler tried for a steal. Jackson. DeMarcus Liberty. Alley-oop doesn't work.
What you want in this situation is up and down, up and down. Denver is not really ready to handle that. Good effort by Reggie to try to keep Drexler from going to the hoop. Crowd wanted a call.
I don't blame him.
Alley-oop at the other end, and Kersey just got the fingertips on it to knock it away.
He's flying tonight, that youngster. Here's Duckworth. They kick it into him. Gonna work again. Scoring over to Kembe Mutombo. Duckworth with 6.
Well, this is a reversal of roles from a year ago. Mutombo can't get his hands on the ball right now. He'll go back at Duckworth at the other end. Last year at this time, it was Duckworth that was having that problem. Mutombo finally gets the ball and turns it over.
After a missed Denver attempt. Blazers get the ball on another Nugget turnover.
Now that looks like an agitated coach. That looks like someone that's a little unhappy with the circumstances. Dan Issel was up and yelling.
13-6, Blazers lead. 7-10 and counting. Duckworth, Drexler. Going to do it again. He's fouled from behind to Kembe Mutombo. Well, Steve, they're going to work on that big hombre.
Duckworth having some early success, so they allow him a chance to go one-on-one. They're trying to clean up the post play, so they take away the hand check from Mutombo.
Water off the pick. They don't get anything out of it.
Buck Williams tipped it over the top. Should be Nugget basketball.
And the score right now with 6:57 to go in the opening period. 13-6 Portland. We'll be right back. Hey, Miller Genuine Draft Light, what's on tap? Some of the things going on. Blazers Make It Happen video. It's available at Blazer stores and at Blazers on Broadway. You might want to pick it up. The kids did a great job that put that together. I think you'll enjoy it, ladies and gentlemen. How about some of those stats? Blazers lead, 6:57 to go, 13-6. Drexler will inbound across the way. And the full 24 to work with. Porter finds room, drives. Mutombo got a hand on it.
That's the reason they like Mutombo out of the middle. Strong drive, Jackson.
And Drexler got back to try to prevent him from scoring. Little shake and bake by Chris Jackson. He's got 4. Kersey underneath from Drexler. Out of bounds, off. Jerome or last touch? No, I think Reggie Williams got a leg in the way. Reggie Williams got bumped last night. See that patch over his left eye.
Just saw a look at Dan Issel, and it's taken him about 6 minutes to work his way into the game. Hasn't taken Duckworth that long. He's on fire, 8 1/4.
And a nice palm ball shot. Kevin Duckworth makes it 15-8. Blazers' biggest lead of the game. To Cumbo. To Ellis. Jackson up the middle. And on the pass off, he is fouled, says Mr. Mike Callahan. Buck Williams picks up the foul.
penetration of Chris Jackson is what broke down the Trailblazer defense, and really his athleticism right at the end as he got the ball knocked out of his hand.
Liberty inbounds to Jackson. Off the curl. Williams. Liberty. Mutombo again. Duckworth on him.
Mutombo likes a jump hook, and he likes to
He
get
didn't
it.
take it that time, though. He gave it up.
He likes to get it in rhythm, and he had his rhythm broken, gave it back up.
Drexler picks up his first personal foul, and Mutombo will go to the free throw line.
Good jump pass inside. Drexler trying to make a play from the rear on Mutombo. He thought he had all ball. Dikembe at the line.
At 14 points, 15 rebounds in their opening win last night at home. He was 2 for 6 at the free throw line. Top rebounders, here you can see Mr. Mutombo, 3rd in the league last year. Dikembe Mutombo makes it a 5-point Blazer lead under 6 minutes to go. It's 15-10. Opening night NBA basketball, Denver and Portland. Drexler from outside. Go. He's got 5. Make it 7 in the game. 7 for Clyde. Out of the Blazers 17. They lead 17-10.
This is where you want to really try to pressure the Nuggets. When Mutombo gets the ball, if you're going to force a turnover, you want to get somebody to drop back in on him. He's not a good passer, trying to force his way across the middle. You see the hand check and the foul. You can see right there, Duckworth has the hip and then the hand squarely in the back. That's the kind of play that they're trying to clean up in the post area.
They get the timeout. That's what Dan Issel wanted. Go to the big guy. Free throw is good.
They have changed their offense. At the start of the ball game, they were in passing motion, passing motion, passing motion. And Dikembe Mutombo was not involved in the offense. They've come back down. Now they have isolated. They've thrown the ball inside, and he's been given a chance to go to work against Duckworth, who picks up the person.
Flip Robinson in the ball game. He'll wear the white headband as Dikembe Mutombo gets 2 more at the line. He has a total of 4. 17-12, 5-point Blazer lead. Williams back over to Clyde. Inside pass intended for Terry Porter, but right there, Johnny on the spot. Chris Jackson.
Quick inside pass. Porter couldn't handle it. It is knocked away by Chris Jackson, but Porter can get a shot anytime he wants.
Just like that. Oh. The inbound play. Terry Porter with 4. 19-12. Liberty. Ellis over Robinson. Blazer ball. Clyde to Glide. Glides all the way. Doesn't get it to roll down. Offensive rebound. Robinson had it knocked away. Jackson, Liberty 2-on-1. In he goes. Doesn't get it. Tipped down. Reggie Williams, it turned out to be the trailer on the play for Denver. Drexler in a long pass. The other end. Puts it up. Doesn't drop. Buck Williams there for the rebound, but he's fouled as he brought the ball down towards the floor. Well, inbound along the side.
The Nuggets will get smaller without shot blocking as Scott Hastings comes into the ball game. Dikembe Mutombo will sit down as he picks up his 2nd personal foul.
4:47 to go in the opening period. 19-14, Blazers lead. Kersey, Buck Williams, veteran Scott Hastings up on him. Now he's on Robinson. 10 seconds on the clock. Into the paint. Kersey turn around. Failed to score. The ball, and Cliff Robinson out of bounds.
Robinson almost got control of that ball, but dancing on the line, couldn't meet in concentration. And at the other end, it's Jerome Kersey with a quick foul.
And that'll be his first of the ball game.
That's the 5th team foul, so the penalty situation comes up. Marcus Liberty, or is it Chris Jackson that will be at the line?
Chris Jackson will go to the free throw line. 6'1" out of Louisiana State, had 32 points last night.
What they wanted from Jackson was better conditioning and mental toughness, and it appears that he's got both of them. But as I said, That is an ugly-looking stash.
Boy, is it ever. My goodness. Doesn't prevent him from scoring, however. 19-16, only a 3-point Blazer lead right now. 4:15 and counting to go in the opening period.
This is the play that they ran during the preseason with Porter down on the box, but they never got Terry the ball. Drexler showing that his perimeter game is still solid.
Right
nine in the quarter.
Right on. He's got 9. Nicely done. 21-16 Blazers. Round the perimeter to Jackson for Denver. Pop out. Reggie Williams over Kersey. Liberty for Denver. The rebound. Banks it. Doesn't go. Scramble underneath. Ellis. No good. Kersey. Another hustle play. Porter waits. Buck Williams finds room. Drive. Up and in, off the window and down. Buck Williams, that quick anticipation step and drive, and he put it down. 23-16. Three and a half minutes to go. Hastings back out to Reggie Williams. Jackson. Bounce pass. Liberty. In he goes. Drexler from behind, and they're going to call a foul. He walks to the corner, too, Clyde does. That's his second personal foul, Steve. And to the line will go the Denver Nuggets.
As you look at this, this is an excellent backdoor play. The defense doesn't react in time. Drexler thought he made a block over the top.
Liberty had 20 points last night in their opening game, the win over San Antonio. How about the Tark? The Tark is 0-2 there in San Antonio. Liberty gets a couple. He's got 4 in the game. 23-18 now. Rod Strickland in the Blazer lineup now. Drexler. Kersey. Wanted to feed Rod Strickland instead of going to the rack.
Well, that's a case of overpassing. He was right at the rim and normally should go up with that ball. He saw Strickland cut by, thought he could make a dunk.
Ryan Stith in the ball game for Denver, too. He cuts, gets the ball, Drexler on him. To Ellis. Hastings looks inside.
Now they really go to the passing game motion offense. We'll find out how effective it is. Liberty down.
Jerome Kersey right there, but we have ourselves a timeout. 2:48 to go. It's 23-18. Portland will be right back.
What's the best way to beat a position player defensively? Take the ball toward him, have this player cut in that direction, and get the return pass. And that's what happened with Clyde Drexler. Drexler now turns, trying to make a play on the ball. It's too late. That's what got the foul against Clyde, his second of the night. But that's what you want, player movement, ball movement.
2 seconds on the clock. They inbound, and they don't get it off. Kersey all the way up the middle. And he scores. One end of the floor to the other. Denver only had 2 seconds to inbound the ball, and Kersey up with it the length of the floor. Slam, it's there.
Nearly stolen by Drexler. That ball was laid out there and wiped out. Buck Williams comes out of the ball game. Mario Elie will check in. Now Jackson is trying to do something which is a little bit difficult for him, and has proved probably his biggest adjustment. Be the playmaker and the scorer for the Nuggets at the same time. He's better when he thinks score first, pass second.
Mario Elie in the ball game for Portland. So many things Rick Allman and the coaching staff can do this year that they couldn't do a year ago. Stiff inside, broken up by Elie. Elie, Strickland. Strickland trying to pass off to the left side, batted to the corner. Drexler hustle play to Elie, puts it up, partially blocked by Stiff, and Denver up with the ball. Under 2 minutes to go in the quarter.
Now that was a real good play by Portland at the defensive end. The reason they made Scott Hastings prove to them that he's not a post-up player. This is the guy that likes to face the basket, and rather than go for any pump fake, they just held their position, tried to throw up a real tough shot.
I think he walked, too. Once or twice.
They didn't give you a whistle. In all this time, you've never gotten one. You're still working on it, huh?
That's true. And they're not going to give me one either. At the line. Mercy, Jerome Kersey. Minute 52 to go. in the opening period.
Kevin Brooks.
Yes. Kevin Brooks, 6'8", second-year pro out of Southwest Louisiana. 6'8" at 200 pounds, and LaFonso Ellis will sit down. Portland leading right now 25-18.
That
will have one more.
Is a surprising substitution. Ellis is their best rebounder next to Mutombo. They're both on the bench. That means this is not a very good rebounding team. Portland should really try to crash the boards at both ends.
Jerome with 3 points in the game. Rebounds are even to this point, by the way, at 8. Brooks, long pass to Hastings. Robinson on him. Here's the cutter inside, and they don't get it to go down. Brooks follows his first 2 of the ball game. Kevin Brooks for Denver. Minute and a half to go. Robinson up the middle. Hastings is there, but he gets it to go down. Tough shot by Uncle Cliffy. That's his first basket. Long pass to Brooks, throws it away, and Drexler will go the other way.
Good hustle play by Liberty to break up a transition try. But what Portland would like to do with the unit that they have in is go up and down the floor, have more opportunities to run, force Denver to try to get back and make stops like that one.
20 seconds on the 24. L.A. will inbound along the end line. Get it in quickly. And Hastings, as Robinson just made a nice little fake to his left, caught Mr. Hastings off guard, and he picks up the foul.
Robert Pack along with Tracy Murray ready to check into the ball game. LaFonso Ellis very quickly back in.
All of this with 1:12 to go in the opening period. Portland leading right now 28-20, and Cliff Robinson will go to the line for a couple.
Well, 2 starters stay out on the floor now for the Nuggets. Ellis is back in along with Marcus Liberty. Pack is in the backcourt along with Brian Stith, their #1 pick this year, and Kevin Brooks. So they have almost a totally different group of people in there than started the ball game. And the Trailblazers are working some people in as well.
Cliff Robinson now in preseason, 86%, almost 87%. That'll be one of the better stories we can follow throughout the year, because Mr. Robinson wants to shoot around 90% or better at the free throw line. 30-20, up by 10, Blazers' biggest lead. Denver fails to score.
You're asking a lot for a guy to go from 60 to 90, but if he can stay in the 80s, it'll be a remarkable year for Cliff from the line.
Strickland penetrates like he'll do a lot and drops it down right up the middle. Lickety Brindle again. You're going to see that a lot, folks. 12-point Blazer lead, 32-20. 40 seconds to go. Opening quarter. Good opening night thus far.
This had 20 last night, but hasn't really had much of a chance to get busy offensively. Portland can't control the rebound. Tracy Murray saying, yeah, Clyde, it was my fault. And the Nuggets will get it back with 35.9 in the quarter.
And a new 24. Kevin Brooks will inbound for the Nuggets in their blue and gold and a white trimmed road uniform. Ellis. Brooks. Strickland steals all the way. Here he goes. He'll do that a lot this year, too. 34-20. They're on an 8-0 run right now. Strickland with 4.
They give Pack a 1-and-4 type stack situation and let him use his quickness to get to the hoop. He got there, couldn't finish.
Ball goes to the corner, out of bounds. 2.9 ticks of the clock to go. The Blazers couldn't come up with that round NBA basketball. Dan Issel calls out a last couple of second play. Brooks in the Kaufman corner.
In this situation, you want the ball to come over the top. You don't want to break down and let him have something easy. Tough try. The period is over.
Stiff with the final shot. Well, 1 period in the books. 23rd year. It's opening night. And after 1, it is Portland 34, Denver 20. We'll be back in just a few moments. Portland shot 52% to Denver's 27%, and they ended the quarter on an 11-2 run over the last 3 minutes and 20 seconds. That's quite a run. Mutombo back in.
That's an indication if your defense is good or your shot selection is bad. Good penetration breaks down Portland's defense. Alfonso Ellis will get a trip to the line plus a chance for a three-point play.
Got the ball from Robert Pack, who penetrated.
Penetration, and you want to try to keep players from getting in because that's when defenses react. As a result, Alfonso Ellis at the line. Chance for a three-point play.
And he does so. That makes the score 34-23.
The two people that the Nuggets have to get involved offensively are Ellis and Dikembe Mutombo.
Tracy Murray. Robinson, the cutter underneath. Mark Bryant, who starts the fourth period. Rick Adelman has Ellie and Strickland, Mark Bryant, Tracy Murray, and Cliff Robinson. Now, folks, you're going to see that a lot. A number of different combinations all year long by the coaching staff. Good D inside. Ellis doesn't get it to go down for Denver. And a loose ball foul on the Denver Nuggets.
Ellis trying to get his miss, came in underneath, then picked up the personal foul. The coach, Dan Issel, likes Ellis's play, but he's going to have to at least temper how he chases some of his own misses. Otherwise, he's going to have to sit on the bench and watch due to foul trouble.
Blazers trying to work a play for Tracy Murray. Robinson with the ball, had it batted away, chased it down, tried to kick it back in to Strickland, picked up by Pack. He'll try to go all the way, doesn't get it. Murray the rebound. Blazer ball. Trailer Bryant. Offensive foul. Strickland penetrate again, hesitates, knew Bryant was there, but the offensive foul.
Strickland actually was screening for Bryant. Bryant came too deep. He came across, laid the ball off, and he had to stop. He tried to continue on. Mutombo just held his ground.
Denver with the ball. Bounce pass to Brooks, in low to Mutombo. And Bryant got him in the back. Little acting by Dikembe, I think. Nonetheless, Mark Bryant got his hand caught in the cookie jar.
A lot of acting, but what they're trying to do is cut down the post play and the hand check. And what you got to do is hand on and then hand off as the player tries to make his move.
From outside. Stiff doesn't get it to drop. You'll see a lot of that call, ladies and gentlemen, inside.
Oh!
Blazers don't get anything on the offensive end, but they get the ball back. Ryan Stiff picks up a loose ball foul.
Came over the top of Mario Ellie.
Both teams with two team fouls early in the second period. Dan Issel sends in Reggie Williams, 6'7", 6 years out of Georgetown, and second-year pro Kevin Brooks will sit down. Strickland to Ellie. Murray, there he is from outside. Looks good, not good. Reggie Williams for Denver. The Pac-Man kicks it in. Ellis had the ball batted away. Robinson, the fans along the end line, or for that matter, the entire building heard that slap. It was all ball, wasn't it?
Robinson feels the way that you at home may feel as you take a look at that play. He got all ball, but the official right in front of him said he got a piece of Alfonso Ellis as well, and Ellis will go back to the line. What you don't want is to have a player like Ellis get that entry pass that deep, and so you're forced to be in a position of reacting.
Ellis misses the free throw. Let's pause for station identification on the Trailblazer Television Network.
You're watching KGW TV, Channel 8, Portland, home of the Trailblazers.
Ellis makes the score 36-24. Blazers in front court. Strickland hands to Bryant. Didn't expect the ball. Grabbed it anyway. To Strickland, drives the baseline. Broken play all the way, but they made it pay off. Brad Strickland, 6 points. The If you folks had a chance to see our Laser Trail special, open up festivities.
That's the shot that Robert Pack has to learn how to make if he's going to be a player in this league.
Fails to score. Strickland at the other end. Doesn't drop. Here comes Denver. Ellis to finish it off. Blocked. Robinson. Long pass to Strickland. Ellie up the middle. Scored a goal. His foul. Nice transition speed.
What makes Rod Strickland special is knowing when to give the player a chance to score. And right there, he drew Robert Pack, got him turned just enough. When he delivered the ball, Pack could do nothing but reach in. Ellie goes on for continuation. Now a chance for a three-point play.
Robert Pack picks up the foul. Terry Porter back into the Blazer lineup.
Porter's back. Chris Jackson back as well.
Versatility. Versatility. That was a big word about 2 or 3 years ago for the Blazers. It certainly will be this year. The coaching staff can do a number of things. Chris Jackson banks it, doesn't drop. Blazer ball. Porter, Strickland over to Robinson through his hands, but there was Ellie. Back to Bryant. Mutombo on him, takes him to the dotted line. No good. Porter, rebound, put it up and in. Terry's got 6 in the game.
Timeout coming. Dan Issel wants to talk about the fact that second opportunities and the defense is getting broke down, and they're reacting right in front of their own basket.
Good timeout. 8:25 remaining to be played in the half. The score, Portland 43, Denver 24. We'll be back in a few moments. Denver will have the ball. Reggie Williams back into the Denver lineup. Hands the ball into Chris Jackson. Blazers lead 43-24. 8:15 to go in the half. Portland led by 14 at the end of one. Mutombo, Mark Bryant on him.
If Mutombo could do that right there initially when he catches the ball, because they're overplaying him so much to his right side, he would have a layup almost every time. But he has to work his way back into a position. Strickland reaches in. Mutombo on the line.
Yep, come over to help out Mark Bryant. Mutombo, as he stands at the line, has a total of 4 points.
All of them have been free throws. He's yet to get a field goal to go in.
Blazers out rebounding Denver 16-11. Mutombo got the first one to drop. Now makes the score 43-26. Mutombo 6 for 6 from the line. Bryant. Robinson fakes, drives, left-hander running hook. Got it to go in and pop out. Gets his own rebound. Back out to Ellie from the dotted line. 2 more. Robinson has Jerome Kersey. Hustle. Ellie with 5 in the game.
Good aggressive play by Cliff Robinson to get Ellie that shot. But it's at this end of the floor where the Trailblazers are really doing their best work right now. Robinson over the top.
Third personal foul, Steve, on Cliff Robinson. Duckworth will have to come in.
Ellis does a good job of holding his position, and Cliff Robinson tried to come over the top to make a play on the ball. He thought he got all ball. The official said he got a piece of Ellis on the way. He's going to have to sit down when Kersey comes in at this next free throw.
Ellis, the youngster out of Notre Dame. Now makes the score 45-27. Cliff with his 3rd foul.
Cliff doesn't want to go.
No, he doesn't want to go.
Gives a long look to the official.
As Jerome Kersey checks in, and Cliff will take the long walk back to the other end of the floor. As Ellis will have one more free throw. Marcus Liberty will come in for Denver. Stiff will sit down. 7:35 to go in the first half. Portland led by 14 at the end of one. And now LaFonso Ellis with 6 points in the game. Strickland pushes. Over to Ellie. Kersey. Off the screen, Strickland. Pops it. Down it goes. For the Boston bounce. Rattle the cage. Rod's got 8 in the game. One of the newest of the Trailblazers. Reggie Williams wide open as he floats to the corner, and Porter could not get there in time, and Reggie Williams was 6 in the game. Ellie looks for Terry.
Porter should think about trying to drive by if he's going to do anything with the ball.
Duck inside with a left-handed hook, doesn't drop. Here comes Denver. 47-30. Blazers lead. Jackson. Reggie Williams. Looking out high. Nobody there. Now Mutombo drives. They double team the big fella. Shot clock at 7. Back to Jackson for 3. He's got him. Chris Jackson for 3.
That is what Chris Jackson can do, is flat out shoot if you give him a look at the hoop. And Strickland was trying to help on the double team and left Chris Jackson wide open.
He's got 9 in the game. He can bring it back in a hurry. Kersey from Porter on his way. Never not dropping. Ellie offensive rebound at Duckworth. Had it batted away by Mutombo, and Denver with the ball. Blazers missed a good opportunity, but then Duckworth got back, filled the middle, and broke up a Denver play. Porter for 3. Not good. Liberty from Mutombo. Jackson spots up. 3 more. At that time, and Porter climbed the golden ladder for the rebound. Will go the other way. Ellie missed the first opportunity as they passed the ball around. Porter to Strickland to Ellie, but he got his own rebound, and Mario scored. He's got 7. Touch basketball there.
New York City connection comes through again.
49-33. Williams draws a crowd, doesn't get it to drop, but there's Mutombo. A good position on Duckworth that time, and Mutombo gets his first field goal of the night. 49-35. Rick Alderman wants to talk it over, and we'll have ourselves a timeout. We're down to 5 minutes, 8 seconds remaining to be played in the half. Denver is leading 49-35. We'll be back in a moment. 5:08 to go in the half. Portland leading 49-35 on opening night. This is Bill Schonely along with Steve Jones. Hey, look at that. Dan Issel, a broadcaster. Now he's a coach.
There have been a few people that have gone from that perspective. Dan Issel is hoping that on a night like they had last night with the retirement of David Thompson's jersey, that they'll have a lot of wins like that. He'll be able to celebrate. A lot of people trying to figure out what's the best way to become a head coach. Do you need years and years of experience? Do you need to be a player? Or do you just need to be lucky?
Yeah.
I will take all of the last.
Yeah, you got it. Blazers have the ball. Porter drives, draws a crowd, wanted a foul, doesn't get it, knocked to the hardwood, and they come up empty-handed. Here comes Denver, and Reggie Williams has dribbled the ball off his foot, smack dab in front of us here as the horse, Dan Issel, looks on. Not much you can do about that.
See if they come back into Duckworth and give him a chance to go one-on-one against Dikembe. He had pretty good success early.
Here it is, Duck hook. Does it bounce? Bounced about 4 times. It doesn't drop. Right idea. 4:15 remaining. 49-35. Blazers lead on opening night. Get it to Mutombo. Batted away by Mario Ellie, but the ball came right back to Williams. Over to Ellis. Hit the buzzer. Score the basket. How lucky can you get?
The guys that they should be looking for in blue to score, Chris Jackson, Ellis, and Mutombo, out of a half-court set, but they seemed a bit confused.
Drexler back in. Picks up right where he left off. Floats to the top of the key, and the Glides got 11 in the game. 51-37. Drexler on Ellis. Ellis gives it up. Denver throws it away. Kersey, Porter, breakaway. Way up and in. 53-37. Terry Porter with 8 points in the game. 3:20 to go in the half. Phoenix Suns are here on Tuesday night. Cleveland on Friday. Blazers down in the Bay Area against the Warriors on Saturday night. A lot of games in the month of November, most of them at home.
Tough shot. Some good defense from Kersey. Ellis again able to use that post up. He's got 10 all in the quarter.
Drexler works it low. Back out the duck. Pop ball. Rip City. Yes, sir. We'll give the big fella one there. 10 points for Kevin Duckworth. Had a strong half. 55-39. What many are saying, a new look Kevin Duckworth.
That's Mutombo's favorite move. One good hard bounce and then try to go up with the jump hook.
Drexler gets the ball, gets himself a little bit out of control, trying to spin around on the pivot, and Bennett Salvatore says, you travel. What do you think, Steve?
Right here, they came in and they wanted to get a call.
Clyde initially was...
That's his third personal foul, no travel.
Yeah, that's his third for sure. He winced for a moment and then said good call to the official. Jackson, flea flicker, out the window and down. Chris Jackson, he's got 11 in the game, 55-41. He and Clyde sharing scoring honors thus far in the game with 11 apiece.
But that's when Jackson's best, when he's trying to score. They don't get as much benefit from him when he's trying to play make, and they're going to have to try to resolve that problem inside the Duckworth.
Again, working on Mutombo. Here it comes. Ducked up right there. Duckworth, back-to-back baskets. He's got 12 in the game. Leading scorer. 57-51. Minute 50 to go. Kick it into Mutombo. Back out. Williams around the perimeter. Ellis. Two. Big doings here on Tuesday night. Barkley, Ainge, and Marley, and the rest of the Phoenix Suns. Be with us if you can. 57-43. Blazers lead. Duckworth from outside. Doesn't get it to drop through. Porter. Pick it away from Mutombo. The fans love that. And now starts to drive the baseline. And he is fouled by Mutombo.
Good effort by Porter to stay after that loose ball. He finally gets it. Now he knows that the baseline is open. Mutombo is shadowing him and the wrong way. He should have closed that off and invited him to come back out of the corner. The reaction of Mutombo, and now he heads to the bench.
It's not a shooter. Scott Hastings will check in. He can't believe it. He goes to the bench. Nice to see Walter Davis in attendance here today.
In attendance, he's working. He's over there on the television side. You know, he's a guy that does the analyst work for the Nuggets on a lot of their telecasts this year. So you'll see him again.
Had a nice conversation with Walter earlier tonight. Scott Hastings on an inbound play. There's Walter Davis, the Greyhound. What a gentleman. Working with Mr. Al Albert, part of the Albert clan. They're everywhere, those guys. Drexler gets the first free throw to drop down. Minute and 11 to go in the half. Clyde now with 13 in the game. 59-43.
It's been a tough half for the Nuggets to get any kind of offensive rhythm. Portland has basically done a sound defensive job, and they've ended up taking some tough shots.
Just like that one.
That one went in for Reggie.
Little running hook shot. He's got 8 in the game. Off the screen, Kersey. Kersey's got 5 in the game. And 61-45. That play was run to perfection right there.
Well, at the Trailblazers into the floor, the Nuggets have not been aggressive enough at the point of attack. So they've had problems controlling Portland's players.
Buck Williams back in, a double team with Porter. Kick the ball into Hastings. Denver does outside. Fail to score. And a loose ball foul on Scott Hastings. Whoa, he thought it was going to go the other way. Is he hot? I waited for a moment. And a technical on Scott Hastings. He might be gone. He walked by the official Callahan, now turns around.
Now, he knows he gets a chance to play for this Denver Nugget team, so he doesn't want to waste his words. He hasn't had much playing time in his 10-year career. There's a lot of people trying to know how did he last as long, but he's been willing to be the villain or the guy that's waved the towel to do whatever, and that time he thought he had position, didn't.
Porter attempted a technical. The score remains 61-45. 31 seconds to go. 31.6 to be precise.
Buck Williams will get a chance to go to the line and shoot a pair of free throws on the loose ball foul.
Buck Williams has 2 points so far tonight. Clyde will sit down. Rod Strickland is in. Buck free throw. Got to have a little body English on that one. It hit the front of the rim and then dropped down. But no rebounds for Buck Williams so far in the ball game. That's unusual. He has 4 points, however. 63-45. Portland by 14 at the end of one. They lead now 63-45. Back out to Jackson. Hastings the pick. Duckworth picks up Jackson. Scott. Scott Hastings comes over and talks to us. Said, did he grab me or what? You pushed off too, Scott. He's still talking, folks. Scott Hastings. Tracy Murray checks into the Blazer lineup, and Buck Williams will sit down. All of this with 11 seconds to go, and Mr. Hastings walks down to the free throw line.
20-second timeout. You have to burn it, so Rick Adelman is going to try to come up with one more way to score after the free throw.
I would not be a bit surprised. This is a guess now. Free throw by Scott Hastings. Blazers obviously are going to get the ball back. That they try to run a play for Tracy Murray. Would that be a good guess?
How far out on the limb do you want to go?
Oh, that's about as far as I'll go. That's it. That would be my guess. Strickland will have the ball.
They have 11 seconds, and they have plenty of time to get a shot. What they'd like to do is come up the floor and get something.
But
very
I think
quickly.
Yeah, well, I understand that. But I kind of think it might be for Tracy Murray.
All right, you're down for that. So note the time, 11 seconds to go before intermission. Shanley makes his call. Murray with the shot.
Isolate that guy now and see if I'm right. Hastings will go to the free throw line first. 63-45, Blazers lead.
Did you do the same thing on Election Day, go out on the limb like that?
No, I didn't, as a matter of fact. I probably could have, though. 63-46. Except Perot didn't have a chance. Hastings makes two. We inbound. We have ourselves a kickball. 1 second off the clock, so there should be 10 seconds remaining. They say 10.5 ticks of the clock. I haven't changed that, but I think they will. Now they're having trouble changing 24-second clock. Not 1.1, folks. 10 seconds on the clock. Still haven't changed it. What Bennett Salvatore.
What the Nuggets want to do is try to pressure Portland in the backcourt and make them shoot the ball deep out on the floor. You want to get the ball away from Rod Strickland if you can.
They left it at 11. Now Strickland. Right to the front court. Tracy Murray, right side, and he was wide open too, but Strickland just took a look left and was going to dish it off to Tracy, but he gets himself fouled, so he'll go to the free throw line.
Somehow or another, you were going to make that a Tracy Murray play anyway.
Well,
but
it was going to be for him. Trust me. 4.6 ticks of the clock to go.
Looked a lot like one-on-one to me. Rod Strickland going against Chris Jackson.
Free throw is good. He's got 9. Mario Elie now will check in. And Kevin Duckworth will sit down. They got a small lineup in there right now. Elie, Porter, Strickland.
Coaches are greedy, and Rick Adelman thinks he can make a steal here with the small lineup and perhaps get one more score before they go in.
Right. Well, he makes it 65-47. Here comes Jackson. Time is wasted. Over the midcourt line. Throws it up. He's going to be goes at the horn, but it's not. And we have reached the halfway point of opening night of NBA basketball. The score at the halfway mark. Portland 65. Denver 47. We'll be right back. Portland led by 14 at the end of one. They have an 18-point lead over the Denver Nuggets at the halfway mark, 65-47. Leading Blazers scorers, Clyde Drexler with 13. Duckworth has 12. An outstanding first half by a number of Portland Trailblazers tonight that the coaching staff had out on the floor. The leading scorer for the Denver Nuggets, LaFonso Ellis, he has 12. So the halftime score again, 65-47. Portland out on top. Well, here he is, folks. I work with him on radio. Goodness only knows what he's going to talk about tonight. Here's Mike Rice. You only got a minute or so, Mike, so take it away.
Thanks, Sean. Getting players in shape is one thing in the NBA, but what Larry Brown and the Los Angeles Clippers are going through is really ridiculous. Everybody knows that Stanley Roberts and John Hotplate Williams reported to camp well over 300 pounds. But how about Randy Woods, the #1 draft pick from LaSalle? He came to camp at 215 pounds after playing his collegiate career at 185. Richard Simmons will be on that staff before the year's out. We may have our first 5-hour basketball game if the referees keep calling those low post fouls. They're trying to clean up the pivot area. This year they've called 20 more fouls per exhibition game than last year. In fact, Dave Robinson fouled out of a game in the first quarter last week. Dave Hopkins played his position the rest of the game. Enough's enough with the fouls. This week in Cleveland, Larry Nance and Mark Price are calling for league-wide AIDS testing. The question is, why? There's a persistent rumor going around that there's at least 10 players in the NBA right now that are HIV positive. If that's the case, the only way to find out is through league-wide testing. Finally, are the Knicks serious about winning the NBA championship? According to the front office, they're willing to pay Bo Kimball $5 million and get him out of his contract so they can pay an additional $700,000 to sign Herb Williams, and that's to play backup center behind Patrick Ewing. To me, they sound real serious. Now here's something special. On each and every telecast of the Blazers this year, in celebration of the 150th anniversary of the Oregon Trail, following my halftime segment, we're going to feature a short historical vignette. They're beautiful, produced, and pay tribute to the women who came west on the Oregon Trail.
In celebration of the 150th anniversary of the Oregon Trail, Blazers basketball presents Letters from the Oregon Trail.
It was a grand spectacle when we came in view of the vast immigration. The country was so level, we could see the long trains of white-topped wagons for many miles. It appeared to me that none of the population had been left behind. I had never seen so many human beings before in all my life.
Did you know that during the covered wagon era from 1841 through 1866, approximately 500,000 trailblazers came west following the route of the Oregon Trail?
Thank you, Nancy Francis. Halftime here at Portland's Memorial Coliseum. It's Portland 65 and the Denver Nuggets 47. Steve, how about some of those highlights?
This was a ball game in which the Trailblazers got right out of the box very quickly. And one of the things that they wanted to see was the return of Clyde Drexler, and he opened up his game with a three-point field goal. Down inside, they're happy to receive the offensive punch of Kevin Duckworth return as well, and he got a chance in that first quarter to go one-on-one against Dikembe Mutombo and paid big dividends. Anytime you penetrate, good things are going to happen, and they can also turn out to be bad things when Mutombo is around. A shot blocker knocks that one away. Chris Jackson all the way the other end for an easy two. The leading rebounders in the ball game, or excuse me, the leading scorers in the ball game, Drexler leads Portland's three players in double figures, followed by Terry Porter. LaFonso Ellis got all 12 of his points in the second half. A nice split for Chris Jackson, 6 and 5, and then Williams and Mutombo. Now the rebounders, and there doesn't seem to be a lot of them, except Robinson and Terry Porter with 5 apiece for Portland. Reggie Williams leads Denver with 4. Shooting percentage, and that is the key. Anytime you're shooting under 40%, you're in trouble, and your opponent's over 50. That's the story for Portland. The Nuggets doing a better job at the line, but if Portland can maintain 88%, they'll be happy for the season. And Portland leads with their scoring from the bench. So there are a lot of things that Dan Issel's team has to correct in the second half if they're going to get into a competitive posture. Rick Adelman wants to see his team continue doing the same thing they did in the first 24.
Denver won't have the ball to start the second half. Portland out rebounding the Nuggets 22-16. And they have an 18-point lead as we get it underway. Jackson with the ball for the Nuggets on the exchange to Williams. Mutombo out high as he started the first half that way. Shot clock down to 5. A pass into Mutombo, batted away, but the Nuggets get it back. And Reggie Williams up with the ball. He gets to the foul line area, and he is fouled by Terry Porter. That'll be his first of the game. And Reggie Williams will go right to the free throw line. They're shooting 16 of 17 at the line as a team. Almost 95%.
Reggie Williams is a player who took several years to finally find himself, and he did it as a Denver Nugget. As a lost soul and playing for Paul Westhead, he finally got a chance to show that he was all of the player everyone thought he was at Georgetown after being kicked around by the LA Clippers and the Cleveland Cavaliers and San Antonio.
He's got 10 points. Drexler from the far side. Splat. It's there. He floated to the far corner and drilled it. Clyde's got 15. Leading scorer in the game. 67-49. Marcus Liberty. Love that name.
The thing that they don't do is take advantage of Mutombo on the post when he's open. Long pass.
This shot, Kersey with a long pass, but not long enough as Buck Williams took off. Denver, they get it back. And here they come.
Denver symbolizes one of the things that's wrong with ball movement. Most of it's around the perimeter. None of it has a player going to the hoop. Therefore, you end up shooting deep against the clock.
Jackson from outside. Drexler the rebound. A long pass to Jerome over his outstretched arm. Too far. With Rick Adelman looking on and a little shake of the head.
The idea there, they needed just a little bit more loft on that pass so Kersey could run underneath it.
So Denver with the ball again. 67-49. Blazers lead early here in the third. Mutombo gives it up to LaFonso Ellis. Williams stationed out on top. Now to Liberty. He drives. Banks it. Blazer ball thanks to Kevin Duckworth. Porter on a bounce pass from Kersey on a bounce pass from Terry Porter. Offensive foul.
LaFonso Ellis held his position. Kersey thought he was going to get a chance for a three-point play. As you see him come right into the chest of Ellis. An easy call for the official to make.
Clyde tries for a steal, but they get it inside. Ellis doesn't go. Reggie Williams the putback, and down it goes. Reggie Williams now 4 in the quarter, 61-51. He's got a total of 12 in the game. Round the circle to Jerome. We'll try to get him back. Yes, sir. Nicely and cleanly. Mercy's got 7.
What Portland doesn't want to do is become a perimeter team. They can move the ball, move themselves, and get any shot they want. The Nuggets defense is not that hard, not that aggressive.
Kick the ball inside to Mutombo, but we've got a whistle away from the ball, and that's Duckworth. That'll be his third. Drexler playing with 3 fouls. And Duck picks up his third. Well, he'll stay in there, however, right now.
Of those 2 players, you have to be more concerned about Duckworth because he has a tendency to cluster his fouls, and he could be in double jeopardy in another play or 2.
Liberty lobbed it low. Mutombo rimmed it. Goes to the side. Chase down Duckworth. He went out of bounds. Oop, he comes out of the front row of seats. It's like he stubbed that left toe. He walks it off. It's going to be all right.
Duckworth crashes into one of those front row seats.
Yeah, his foot slipped underneath the chair. Remains in there. He's all right. That could be dangerous. Williams to the cutter. Liberty in the paint. Turned around and popped it. Marcus Liberty 6 in the game. 69-53 Portland.
Liberty's had trouble finishing some plays. He's had the ability to get inside, but he hasn't been able to finish. That time he got a good look at the hoop, knocked it down.
Foot still stings on Duckworth, but he's hanging in there. Drexler to Duck. Going to work on Mutombo.
In this situation, you'd like some movement. Portland stood, but Kersey knocked down the perimeter shot.
Boy, does he ever. From outside again. Back-to-back baskets from a long range. He's got 9. Jerome Kersey. 71-53. Stay with us, everybody. Chris Jackson. Back out for Ellis. Porter on it. Back to Jackson. Front of the Blazer bench and hits for 2. Chris Jackson, 13. Phoenix in here on Tuesday night.
Reggie Williams trying to reach in and knock the ball away, picks up the personal foul. If you're looking for any development over the course of the year from the Denver Nuggets, look for it at the defensive end where they've got to get up and start pressuring the basketball. Yeah. Portland's been able to enter the ball down in the post much too easy. Now it's a question of reacting for Denver.
Duckworth, palm ball from outside the foul line. Good. He's got 14. Kevin Duckworth, 73-55. He likes that shot from that area. Also likes the little duck hook. Ellis, Liberty, little shake and bake. Drops it down. Made a nice move on Jerome. He came over to help out a teammate. But it's 73-57. Both teams trading baskets now. About 7:55 to go in the third period on opening night.
The Nuggets, this is a real young... On the best of days, Clyde might have been airborne, but you got to remember, this is a guy that hasn't been doing a lot of playing basketball over the last month or so, let alone flying in the air, and that ball was way up there. No chance to get that for Drexler.
Marcus Liberty just held him from taking off. Inbound, off the screen, Clyde tries for 2 and gets it. Design play off the inbound play. Clyde was 17 in the game. Was 17 on Monday night back in Springfield in the final preseason game. Double team Williams.
Shot clock at 5.
Yes, sir. Mutombo over for Jackson and knocked the ball away. Duckworth and Porter in deep on Jackson and slapped the ball off his foot out of bounds.
Jackson got down on the baseline, and Portland was able to come up with the ball.
7:07 to go in the third. 75-57. Portland leading. Drexler inside and draws a crowd again, and a foul. That's going to be on Reggie Williams. That'll be his third of the game. And we have ourselves a timeout. First timeout of the third period. We are down to 6:59 remaining to be played in the third. Portland leading 75-57. We'll be right back. What's on tap? Well, win $10,000 or a trip to the '94 NBA All-Star Game, the Oregon Fantasy Basketball Contest. You can look at today's Oregonian for all the details. Entries, of course, must be postmarked by November the 13th. And that date is coming up. 6:59 to go here in the third. 75-57. Becoming more methodical here in the last while, Steve.
You see the field goal percentages, and even though the Nuggets have improved, they've allowed the Trailblazers to do better than that. Portland has yet to miss. Drexler on the line for the second time tonight. Reggie Williams, during that intermission, was complaining he got hooked. Yeah. So Reggie still has not learned a few of the tricks of the craft. He'll have to keep his arms down.
76-57. Add one more. 77-57. Blazers' biggest lead of the night. 19 points for Clyde the Glider. What an awesome start for him. A lot of games this week. Whistle away from the place has Bennett Salvatore. Buck Williams. Little post-up situation away from the ball.
Look at those guys. Now, there's a little bit of similarity in size and physical build. Ellis used to idolize Buck Williams, and now he's taking him to task. This guy's got a real complete game for power forward.
Jackson Liberty trying to get it inside of it, cutting Mutombo. Broken up by Portland. Blazer ball. Porter up the middle. Either a reach in or a foul on the big fella.
Chris Jackson.
It's going to be on Chris Jackson.
Jackson in a reacting position and really got messed up by his own man Mutombo, who ran in his way, trying to make sure he get down in the paint and be available to make a block.
Terry goes to the line. 3 games in the NBA today. Porter gets the first free throw to go down. Cleveland defeated Charlotte 127-107, and at the half it's Sacramento 65, the Lakers 55. How about that in L.A.?
That's the bigger story in L.A. The Kings haven't won in L.A. since no one remembers when. Be a huge win out of the box for them.
A block by Jerome Kersey on Mutombo. What a play. Blazers get the ball and back down the floor they go. Mercy did it again. And the Blazers hone in on Clyde and get him a baseline drive, and he is fouled. What a block by Jerome. He got back.
Mutombo trying to go with both hands, and you'll see that it's perfect timing by Jerome Kersey right at the top, and that puts Portland in transition. Drexler picks up another foul against Reggie Williams,
but misses the front end of the free throw. It's 79-57.
It's early, but Jerome is ready.
Oh boy, and how he started from the opening tap too. Clyde will have one more free throw. He's got 19 tonight. Add one more. He's got 20. 80-57. 7 in the quarter, 20 for the game. Clyde Drexler. Jackson from outside. NBC. Nothing but Ford. He's got 15. Chris Jackson had 32 last night in Denver on their opening night.
This is what you want to do with Jackson. Post him up. They don't give Terry the ball, but he had an easy chance to score. Buck Williams getting a field goal here and getting in the scoring parade.
A runner. 82-59. That's the score. 5:45 to go in the third period. Marcus Liberty. Ellis. Pop out. Jackson shoots over Clyde and drills it for 3. And Drexler had a hand in his face and comes back up the floor smiling. But gets the ball and gets 2 of his own at the other end from Terry Porter. That's the way to get it back. Clyde with 22 for number 22. 84-62.
One of the problems the Nuggets have had is finishing plays, and when they've broken down, they haven't gotten back defensively. Portland's been able to get easy shots. Another one for Duckworth.
Wide open. Did you see that? Terry Porter had 3 men on him, and he whipped the fastball inside to Duckworth, and he scored. Nicely done. Timeout. 86-62. That's the score. We'll be right back. Tonight we'll be playing Payless Drugstore's first of the 4th contest. Our contestant will have a chance to win $1,000. They correctly guess the Blazer who makes the first Portland point, field goal, or free throw in the 4th period. Stay with us. 86-62. Blazer. Mutombo inside is surrounded. Buck Williams up for the ball. Porter. Drexler. Ladies and gentlemen, the first of the year. Bingo. Bango. Bongo. 11 in the quarter, 24 for the game. Clyde Drexler as Chris Jackson buries another one from downtown for 3.
Now that's the Jackson that you saw at LSU, a guy that could come down, stop on a dime, and shoot deep out on the floor. Back-to-back 3-point shots. Drexler rebound.
and looked into the corner thinking Terry Porter was there, but he threw it into the seats in a guy in a white shirt.
He smiled and he pointed to the guy, but there was no Trailblazers on that side of the floor.
There's no number on that shirt. 88-65. Illegal defense, first of the night called on Portland. And Rick says, on who and for what? Mr. Lichty's in the ball game. 6'4", four-year pro out of Stanford. Todd Lichty for Denver for the first time. Denver will get the ball.
Jackson again
for another three. Drexler with the ball on the drive. Might go all the way. He holds up. Hands it to Jerome. Screens. Shoots. Not good. Lichty drives at the ball batted away. Denver still with possession.
Denver's game has broken down at the offensive end, and they're really not sure where they want to get a score. 2-on-1, broken up by Jackson.
Drexler on the one wing, and the big fella Duckworth on the other, but a Denver player got back and tipped it away. Or Duck saw two coming up easy.
I mean, you look at the Nuggets, and the guy that's doing all the scoring is Chris Jackson. Other than that, they've gotten 4 points. 4 from Marcus Liberty and 4 from Reggie Williams.
And Buck Williams just draws his 8 points of the game. Blazers getting back on D. They're swarming inside. Cliff Robinson and Rod Strickland will come in for the first time here in the third period. Terry Porter will sit down. Jerome Kersey will sit down. And Cliff will plop the black headband on here in the second half. You never know what Uncle Cliff is going to do. Let's pause for station identification, ladies and gentlemen. This is the Trailblazer Television Network.
You're watching KGW TV, Channel 8, Portland, home of the Trailblazers.
Denver had the ball and kicked it away. Blazers get it back. 3:10 remaining to be played in the third period. Portland leading 90-65 on opening night. Over to Buck on a drive. Locke, Hastings, and Mutombo. Issel trying to get a little size in there inside, I think.
Well, he's giving LaFonso Ellis a little bit of a breather, but Ellis really was a tremendous offensive force for him in the second quarter. You're going to get a foul on Todd Lichty over the top. Drexler had control. Issel doesn't like the call. He takes a walk the other way.
Wasn't a very good looking shot by Scott Hastings that time.
Well, Scott doesn't get to shoot very often, so it's hard to judge what's a good-looking and a bad-looking shot from him. The ball goes up. Drexler has the inside position. You can see Lichty trying to reach back in, and unfortunately getting the whistle to go against him. Good hustle play, all for 9.
Drexler at the line. He's got 24. Give him 25. End of the game. Mark Bryant and Kevin Duckworth will sit down. Duck goes the third without a foul.
The good thing for Rick Adelman as you look at the clock at 2:52 is he will have a chance to let his younger players play in the first game of the season. Portland has a healthy lead. Drexler gets 1 of 2.
Nice round of applause for Duck as he goes to the Pines. Lichty throws up not a very good looking shot for him, and Blazers back the other way. Drexler over to Strickland, picked up by Jackson. Breakaway. An easy 2 by the Denver Nuggets. Chris Jackson, who had 32 last night, has 14 in the quarter, 23 for the game for the Denver Nuggets. You're right, Steve. He's the only scorer, big scorer they had. Drexler from Strickland. Oh, off balance, moving left to right. Clyde feels it too. He's got 26. He's got 15 in the quarter. 2-minute mark coming up.
Denver's a team that can't play one-on-one. They've got to have ball movement. They're just breaking down at the offensive end. If they don't get a score from Jackson, their trouble is getting the ball in the hoop.
Here goes Strickland, wheeling and dealing. Reverse layup doesn't drop off the window on the iron. Lichty with the ball at midcourt. Hastings, an alley-oop intended pass to Marcus Liberty. He needed a step ladder for that one. over his head and out of bounds. A moment ago, Mark Bryant, good defensive job on Mutombo.
He did a nice job. Mutombo out of the ball game. Robert Worden is in the ball game. A big wide body from St. John's.
Did not play last night in Denver. Minute and a half to go. They get the ball in deep to Clyde, and he starts to drive. There's Hastings and there's Lichty, and the foul is going to be on Todd Lichty. That'll be his second.
Drexler with a quick entry pass and a chance to go inside. Scott Hastings trying to pick up the personal. Drexler goes back to the line, but it's been a big offensive period for Drexler. 14 with a chance to possibly get to 16. So in a short period of time, Drexler showed that he's still as explosive as he ever was, even if he's on a leg and 3/4.
Right on. 16 points in the quarter for Clyde. He'll try for 17 in the quarter, and he's got them. 95-67. Jackson's going to go all the way to the well. Liberty, offensive rebound. Batted away out of bounds. With Robinson in the fray there. Minute 24 to go. Denver still with the ball. 20 clock reset. Gets reset when it hits the rim, not the backboard this year now. Inbound to Scott Hastings, and all he has for the Ironworks. Blazers up to the ball.
Drexler blocked that one. Scott Hastings thought he was going to get a free pass, and Clyde reached up and knocked it away.
That shot by Mark Bryant failed to go down. Chris Jackson, he's got the ball all this half.
He's the one that has to be guarded. Robinson trying to make a block, picks up a foul. One of the things that Cliff will have to really adjust to is knowing when he has a player taking a tough shot. He had Marcus Liberty with a tough try. Make him see if he can make that shot.
That's 4 fouls on Cliff, and Liberty will go to the line. Mario Elie will check in just as soon as he can for Portland. Minute 2 to go here in the third. Liberty gets 1 to go down. Clyde Drexler will sit down. 16 points in the quarter and a total of 29 points for Clyde Drexler. Liberty makes the score. 95-69. 10 points for Marcus. The old equator. Strickland. Williams Robinson running hook shot. Doesn't drop. Burdan. Lichty. He gets 2. That's his first 2 of the game. Todd Lichty. 40 seconds to go. Strickland had the ball batted away from behind by Chris Jackson. 19 seconds on the clock, 37 seconds to go in the third period. Portland had a 14-point lead after 1, 18 at the break.
Portland's been able to do almost whatever they wanted at the offensive end of the floor. The Nuggets have allowed them to cut, and they've been able to get in deep. Strickland can't finish, but you're going to get a foul against Buck Williams, I believe.
That'll be his third. Buck Williams has some new goggles this year. In practice, he wears the heavier looking goggles, the bigger goggles, if you will. But he has a new style for this year. That'll put Scott Hastings at the free throw line for the Nuggets with 29 seconds remaining to be played in the third period. 95-71. Scott Hastings. Feisty guy, isn't he, Steve? Scott?
Scott Hastings is going to do whatever it takes to stay in the league, and so he's been willing to be pounded on and pushed and shoved. And you know what he can do is shoot the ball. For a big guy, if you allow him to stand out and get a good look at it, he's eventually going to knock it down.
He's got 4 points. 95-73. We have an offensive foul. Buck Williams again, a post-up situation away from the ball. Plops those glasses on the top of his noggin. Picks up his 4th personal foul. Gives Denver the ball for the final shot of the third period. And the ball in the hands of Chris Jackson. Watch the time. Down to 5. Jackson will probably take it. No to Hastings. and drills it with 2.2
That's what Hastings can do. If you can let him look at the hole, he can shoot the ball.
Strickland from midcourt. It's not there. We have reached the end of the third period on opening night. The third period score, the Portland Trailblazers 95 and Denver 76. We'll be right back. Time to play. Payless Drugstore is first of the fourth. Whoever, if it's Terry Porter scores, he's in the game for Terry Scott of Springfield. They get $1,000. Let's see if Terry does. He was out of the game, but now he's back in. It's the Payless Drugstore's first of the fourth contest. Denver makes the score 95-78. Terry gives it up to Mark Bryant. And Mark Bryant had the ball batted away off his leg, out of bounds, Denver ball.
Terry Scott is holding his breath because Porter has only got to handle the ball once and didn't even look at the hoop. Robinson and Bryant were quick shooters. Jackson
inside, a little give and go play. Gave it up to Scott Hastings and went right up the middle. He's got 25. 95-80. That's the score.
Well, the Nuggets came back last night to force a double overtime and finally win a game. I don't think they'll do it tonight, but they do have the ability to stay in a game. Bryant picks up the personal foul, so suddenly a little loss of concentration, the ball not going in. Nuggets trying to pick up a little momentum. They're within 15.
It's Porter and Strickland with Bryant, Robinson, and Mario Elie. That's the lineup for Rick Adelman right now. Verdane out high. Kick it back to Lichty. Jackson.
This is a tough position for Porter to be in. Liberty feasted on the Trailblazers in the preseason in the same kind of small lineup mismatch where he was able to get a lot of points late in the ball game, posting up guards. Rick Adelman going to make an adjustment now.
Cliff Robinson picks up his 5th personal foul. They're going to have to sit Cliff down, and Jerome Kersey will come in. That's 5 fouls on Cliff, and he goes to the Pines, and he is hot as he pounds the seat next to him. Liberty will inbound for Denver. Verdane. Liberty looks. Starts to go around Jerome Kersey, and Kersey leaned into him, and Jerome picks up the foul. Well, it's not a very good start for Portland here in the fourth period.
Well, you look,
still, they have yet to take a shot. Well, I guess they had one attempt, Mark Bryant.
You look at the shot clock, it's 10:40. They have 3 team fouls, and the Nuggets have been a team that's been struggling to score up to this point. They've shot 94% from the line. You don't want to put them there.
Jackson at the ball, batted away. Kersey, Porter, Strickland, Kersey. Well, he scores first. So Terry Scott of Springfield didn't work, huh?
Steals Strickland.
Elie had the ball and reaching from behind Verdane. Robert Verdane, a 6'11" out of St. John's.
Elie was trying to scoop that ball up so he could push it out to Strickland. He never could get control of it. Verdane walked into the play, picked up the foul.
10-10 to go in the game on opening night. 97-80, Blazers lead.
Porter's got no dribble. That's the reason that he couldn't use the screen. Elie wide open.
4-3. To 80. Elie with 10, and it's a 20-point Blazer lead for the second time in the game. Verdane inside. Mario Elie came across from the weak side to steal. Strickland. Porter spots for 3 on his way.
You know, Terry Scott was going to say, where was that shot about 2 minutes ago? Where's my money?
Jackson for 2. He had his toe over the line. Chris Jackson from downtown again. He's got 28. Remember, he had 32 last night. Nice move by Terry Porter to Jerome Kersey. Got the ball in deep. Little spin around move, but he draws the foul, and it's going to be on Robert Verdane, his 2nd of the game.
No pressure on the ball. That's what allows the entry pass, and then the defense is reacting. Verdane picks up the personal.
And Kersey at the line. 9-11 to go in the game. Kersey's free throw. Ironworks. In the first half, Portland shot 87% at the free throw line, and they'd like to keep that high percentage. Jerome takes plenty of time and tickles the twine for his 12th point of the game. 101-82.
Ellis has come back in the ball game. We'll find out whether the Nuggets go to him. He was a real good offensive threat. Jackson's still on fire.
Whoa, from the far corner, only for 2. He had his foot over the line again. He's got 30 points. Chris Jackson, 6'1", out of Louisiana State. Ellie for Portland.
Now they have their perimeter shooter in Chris Jackson. They don't have a point guard. That would be an excellent spot for Robert Pack to step in and perhaps fill that role and get a chance to play and establish himself.
Porter misses. Jackson for 3. Strickland going to take Lichty all the way. Oh, ocean to ocean ride to Strickland. He's got 12. Long pass to Lichty, batted into the seats, into the third row, down to our right of our broadcast position by Terry Porter. Denver still will have the ball. Blazers tough on D. Lichty finds a little seam, doesn't get it to go down, but LaFonso Ellis tip in. He does. 14 for Ellis.
Ellis has got a solid game. Really, they have to try to find a way to make him more of a focal point of their offensive scheme. He's very solid, doesn't force many shots, get a moving screen against Jerome Kersey.
And for Jerome, that'll be his 4th of the game. Lichty will sit down, and Reggie Williams checks back in for Issel and the Nuggets. Verdane, right-handed hook shot on a double clutch. Doesn't go. Right there, Mark Bryant fighting for the missed shot. Ball went out of bounds off the Blazers. Denver will get the ball back. Inbound to Denver, and a little hustle play by Mario Elie and Mark Bryant, and a jump ball with Mr. Steve.
Brian Stiff is their #1 pick. Had a good ball game last night. Had 20. Has not been able to really get offensively involved. You know, and again, when you look at the Nuggets, it's a very young team that's got to learn what are the best parts of the team, particularly when you're in a scramble situation like this. So you got some people out there where you ought to try to put them in positions where they can take advantage of some of their skills. Verdane trying to use his size against Bryant, picks up the foul.
And that's 4 on Mark Bryant. A lot of whistles all of a sudden. Game is moving right along. We're down to 7:19 to go in the game. Portland leading 103-86. Verdane at the line gets his first points in an NBA uniform. Actually, his first point. Let's see if he gets a second. Now put the S on it. He's got 2. 103-88. Whistle away from the ball. Brian Stiff picks up the foul. He was down low, Steve, practically underneath the basket with Mario Elie.
Wouldn't let him run.
Yeah. Drexler will inbound. Gives it up, goes underneath, comes back out, and we're going to have an offensive foul on Terry Porter. I don't know about that one. I don't know.
Porter coming around the screen thinking drive all the way. Verdane felt a little bit of contact, went down. Nuggets inside. Verdane on the second attempt can't get it.
Here's Reggie Williams in traffic. And blocked from behind Jerome Kersey, and he goes over and talks to to Bennett Salvatore, and Rick Adelman now says, mercy, calm down. And we're going to have ourselves a Portland timeout. Timeout is called. 6:52 remaining to be played here in the fourth period. Portland leading 103-88. We'll be right back. .652 to go. Portland by 15, 103-88. Clyde Drexler back into the Blazer lineup. Things have gone a little sour the last few minutes. That's only to be expected. Williams doesn't get the first half, doesn't get the second half, but they get the ball back. Reggie puts it up. And a loose ball foul on Denver. Blazers finally get a call, and they applaud across the way.
Alfonso Ellis trying to come over the top, picked up a personal foul. Things have only gone bad for Portland in the foul department. They're controlling the basketball game and the scoreboard, able to do pretty much what they want.
Strickland trying to get it inside to a cutting Drexler, broken up by Denver. Jackson. Stiff. Short. His shot. Buck Williams. Right to Drexler. 3-on-1. Now 3-on-2 over to Ellie. And Ellie is stripped of the ball by Jackson on a great defensive play. Jackson gets it back over to Stiff. And he is hammered underneath. Drexler. And for Clyde, that's his fourth of the game. Oh, they had a golden opportunity.
I see what the plan is. See, they'll all foul out at the same time.
Yeah, that's about right.
Clyde's got 4, Buck's got 4, Cliff's got 5, Jerome's got 4. Duck has 3.
Brian Stiff at the line, and Denver, they were down by 22 at one point. Now they're pecking away here. 6:15 to go. The Blazers lead 103-89. They lead 103-90. Williams out high. Strickland penetrates. Leaves it for Duckworth. And a delayed whistle as Duckworth was mugged by Robert Verdun. Everybody in the building waiting for that whistle that didn't come when they thought.
15 foul. Portland has lost their concentration. Right here, Verdun trying to make a play on the ball, pulls Duckworth away from it. He will go to the line in the penalty.
Buck had an excellent third period.
This is the same sort of game that they played in the preseason, where Portland had command, had a big lead early, and then lost concentration, and the Nuggets somehow eventually end up making a closer game of it than that actually was.
Duckworth will have one more. Put that one down. 104-90. Mutombo back in, Steve.
So it appears that the Denver Nuggets have the ability to make you play ugly and somehow sneak back in the game. Portland had been really playing some very good, efficient basketball up until the fourth quarter.
Good point. Turn around by Ellis, short, but there is Reggie Williams. Put it on the glass. Duckworth for the ball. Strickland, Ellie, and he goes for the jam, and he is home, and he leaps high in the air, grabbed the rim, pushed himself up a little further, and came back down.
The New York City connection strikes again, and Ellie, just for a little extra measure, his version of Charles Barkley.
Yahoo! Three-point play by Mario Ellie. There it is again. Springboard. Yes. Ringling brothers. Barnum and Bailey. 107-90. That's the score. Portland out on top. 5:25 to go on opening night. Phoenix in town here on Tuesday. That'll be a dandy. Stiff. Drexler. Behind the back to Strickland. Can he bring it up the middle? Block. Duckworth is there. Put it up. Short. Mutombo. couldn't find the handle.
He said, I got hit. That's why I couldn't find the handle. Ball goes up, a soft play. Drexler and Mutombo. Mutombo claiming he got hit in the eye, but the ball goes off his hands.
Drexler for three on an inbound play. Buck Williams keeps it alive. Strickland inside to Ellie. Over the backboard, over the rim. No good. Drexler saves it from going out of bounds, and Duckworth banks it off the window. And the crowd at the Coliseum, they're standing. 109-90. Jackson for three more. Oh my goodness, how many of those threes do you have? Is that 5 for him? He's got 31.
What everyone back of us is saying, don't they realize that guy can really shoot?
Yes, they can. He's got 33 points. Chris Jackson, let's upgrade that. 33 for Chris Jackson. He had 32 last night. Robert Pack back into the Denver lineup, along with Todd Lichty. Terry Porter will come back in for Portland, and Rod Strickland will sit down. As Duckworth will go to the free throw line. All right, how tough is it to be a cameraman in the NBA? Here comes Drexler. Look out. Splat.
You pay for that seat.
Boy, and how. They do a good job, our crew. I'm proud of every one of them. Duckworth makes the score 111-93. He's got 21, Kevin Duckworth has. Good start. Duck is saying, don't worry what has happened in the past. Let's worry about this year. That's the most important thing. It starts on opening night. That's tonight. He's got 21. Duckworth gets the ball. Over Verdun. Verdun got a hand on it. Denver with the ball. Lichty, Verdun, Pack, Verdun. Roll it up and around and out. Buck Williams, Porter, Duck, fakes to the left hand, he scores. Well, that was a smaller version of Bingo Bango Bongo. Buck Williams, Porter, Duckworth. Duck's got 23.
A lot of people are probably wondering at this point, why is Drexler in the game? Porter, Williams, Rick Allen wants to get them a little bit more game conditioning. I'm sure that the rookies are over there saying, you know, Coach, my name is Smith, my name is Johnson, and my name is Murray.
Right.
And I don't think we can screw this up now. There's 20-point lead, 3:30 left in the ball game.
They're going to school tonight. They're watching, taking notes. Buck Williams at the line. Doesn't get the free throw to drop. Talking about Rick Allen, Steve, and the coaching staff. Rick will be our post-game guest tonight. Buck doesn't get anything to drop down. Verdun is spin move around Duck. Goes in for the reverse layup. Blazers get the ball. Drexler, Porter starts the spot up for two. Doesn't take it the first time, does the second.
Terry ended up taking a much tougher shot.
Yeah.
And again, that comes from having a game under control and knowing you can almost do whatever you want.
Denver fails to score. Up to the floor come the Blazers. Drexler kicks it over to Mario Ellie. He flies in and doesn't get anything to drop down, but he'll go to the line. He is fouled by Robert Verdun. We have ourselves a timeout. We are down to 2:51 remaining to be played in the game. Portland 113, Denver 93. We'll be back in a moment. 2:51 to go. 113-93 Blazers lead.
Dan Issel hopes that he can change that. Denver was one of the lowest scoring teams in the NBA a year ago. Portland has done a good job on them tonight, but Issel, who came from the coaching of Doug Moe, where they scored a lot of points, he'd like to see his team do a better job in that passing game and come up with some easier scores.
Mariolli at the line, and he gets the first one to drop down after 3 in L.A. It's Sacramento 95, the Lakers 80, and then only one other game in the East. Cleveland 127, Charlotte 107. Only 3 games today.
Well, a big story right there on your screen was the field goal percentage. And Portland's been hovering around 50 for most of the night, and the Nuggets have been in the mid-30s, and you're just not going to beat a quality team like Portland if you're not shooting the ball well.
Verdin from outside. Rimmed it. That's all. Duckworth climbs for the rebound. Tracy Murray in the Blazer lineup now. Will they run a play for him, Steve? We get a whistle away from the ball. Robert Verdin.
If I didn't know
he's
better.
Gone. I'm telling you, he didn't last long, did he? He played here in the 4th, and he's gone.
Well, he's going to get his licks in. He's a lot like Scott Hastings, only a bigger model of him. Big, wide player from St. John's, and he's not afraid to put his body on people. But if I didn't know better, I would think that you were playing your own 1st and the 4th. And you are bound and determined to get Tracy Murray a hoop. Dave Johnson in the game.
Yeah, Reggie Smith checks into the Blazer lineup, and Dave Johnson. So the outstanding young players on the Portland squad will get to play tonight now. Porter, Dave Johnson, Tracy Murray, Mark Bryant, and Reggie Smith for the final 2:27 of the game. We'll watch them carefully as Porter makes the score now 117-93. With the ball packed to Brooks.
The game that Denver's playing right now, the passing game, is one of the hardest games for players to adjust to. Most of them come out of college situations where they run sets, and now you got to get used to constant motion. You end up running in each other's way. That takes away a lot of some of your favorite moves. Porter down, Strickland back in.
And the foul is on Tracy Murray. That'll put Todd Lichty at the line. So the lineup now with Strickland and Johnson in the backcourt. Murray, Bryant, and Reggie Smith up front. Todd Lichty out of Stanford gets a couple. 117-95. The 2-minute mark coming up. Strickland went down the floor, had to come back and help. He's running the show. He's the point. Murray to Dave Johnson. Pack almost with a steal. Dave Johnson raced after the ball, and Robert Pack stayed right with him, and a reach-in foul on Bitford.
Dave Johnson shooting for Portland.
Dave Johnson will go to the line.
2 men.
They laid that ball out there, and Pack almost had a piece of it. He was anxious to get the other way. Just pulled the back of Dave Johnson off the ball.
Yep, Dave trying to get his first point in an NBA game as he rimmed the first free throw attempt and out. Out of Syracuse. Will this one go down? No, it doesn't. Mark Bryant, offensive rebound, up and in. Get 2 out of it anyway. Under 2 minutes to go. 119-95. Matter of time here. Stiff rims one. Gets his own rebound and scores. He's got 4 in the game.
And guess who hasn't played at all for the Nuggets? Mark Macon. Macon, a #1 pick a year ago, basically has been idle on the bench. Tracy Murray trying to get one on his own.
And we have a loose ball foul on Mark Bryant.
Mark Bryant.
As he had a huge collision with Scott Hastings, who got bumped by Bryant over the left eye. 1:36 to go as Issel takes a look. A win by 4 last night at home in their opener. He was concerned prior to the game about tonight's ball game with some of his younger players in particular. He had reason to.
Well, that'd be his whole team. They're all pretty young except for Hastings. Hastings gets a chance to go back to the line. He could end up with 9 if he gets this one in.
He banked that one off the high glass. Doesn't get the second, gets his own rebound. Keeps it alive for the Nuggets. Brooks, the Pack, almost a steal by Strickland. Pack then has it. He traveled with the ball. Robert Pack might be trying a little bit too hard. We have a 20-second timeout called by the Denver Nuggets. Brian Stiff coming over limping a little bit. So the trainer for the Denver Nuggets, Jim Gillen, will take a look at him. Dan Issel also talking to his youngster, and Rick Alleman talking to his youngsters now, Steve, with 1:26 to go.
I would think that this is the most difficult time of the game for a coach to coach, winning or losing. All the players are thinking about is getting a chance to do something rather than running a play. And the team, if you're losing, all you want to do is get out of the arena. Many fans beginning to drift here from Memorial Coliseum, feeling this one is in the bag.
A lot of smiles on the Blazer bench right now. Tracy Murray, there's a play run for him, and he hits. Strickland to Tracy Murray off that double screen to the left side, and Murray gets his first 2 in the NBA.
I think that's that play they were running at halftime.
Yeah, they didn't get on. They wanted to. Denver with the ball. Lichty, high arcing shot, good. 6 points for Todd Lichty. Rick Alleman will be our post-game guest tonight, just as soon as we can get to him. 45 seconds to go on opening night with the Phoenix Suns coming into town on Tuesday. Dave Johnson, there's 2 for him. The youngster out of Syracuse, he gets his first 2 in an NBA uniform and game. That's nice to see. They ran a play for him, too.
With 31 seconds to play, the clock is stopped, and the only Trailblazer who has not scored in this ball game is Reggie Smith.
Let's see if they run a play for him.
You haven't been quite as enthusiastic for Reggie, so I'm kind of doubtful that he'll get the pass from Strickland.
Well, he might. He might. Coaching staff, Shallow and Wetzel are over there, and Rick Alleman called out a play. I just happened to see that. Strickland, he looked at Strickland. Get one for Reggie Smith when you can. Blazers win the ball game by a final score of 123 to 104. They had a 14-point lead at the end of 1. They led by 18 after 3. They had 18 at the half. They had a good lead after 3. They had a little dry spell early in the 4th period, but it was all Portland, Steve.
A little loss of concentration, but this was a game that they were expected to win. They went out and did what they had to for the most part and won it comfortably. Everyone got a chance to play. The only guy that didn't get a chance to score was Reggie Smith.
Well, they tried. They ran a play for him, and he banked it. That was all. Drexler had 29 points tonight, ladies and gentlemen. Kevin Duckworth, a great start for the youngster, had 23, had a strong 3rd period. Jackson had 32 last night. He had 32 tonight for Denver.
Chris Jackson, the leading scorer in the NBA right now, showing that, you know, he has the ability to score. What they need is someone to turn Chris Jackson loose so he can primarily be the scorer from the backcourt.
Blazers shoot 51%. Denver shoots 37%. Head coach Rick Alleman is going to be our post-game guest, so stay tuned for that. This is Bill Schonely along with Steve Jones. Blazers win it on opening night, 123 to 104. Don't go away. We're going to be right back.
Trailblazers basketball has been brought to you by Payless Drugstore, the drugstore worth talking about. By Coca-Cola Classic, you can't beat the real thing. By GTE, proud sponsor of the Trailblazers. By your area BP station, BP, on the move throughout Oregon. By Cellular One, the nation's largest cellular company, lets you imagine no limits. And by the people at Nike, who encourage you to just do it. For information on how you can join in the celebration of the Oregon Trail's 150th anniversary, call this number.
Now, the Trailblazer postgame show. Tonight's postgame show is brought to you by your local Chevy Geo dealer, the Portland Trailblazers and the Chevy S10 Blazer, two proven winners, and by True Value Hardware. You can do it with True Value Hardware Store. On opening night, the Blazers win it, and win it in pretty good fashion, as it turned out, 123-104. Our guest, as you can see, head coach Rick Alleman. Steve?
Well, Rick, every coach had some concerns going into the first ball game. You knew the Nuggets played last night. What were your concerns going into this one?
Well, I watched their game last night, Steve, and they were very aggressive offensively. And they shot the ball well, and they really went after San Antonio and came back and won a really nice win in double overtime. So we really wanted to come out and establish ourselves defensively in the first quarter and not let them get off to a quick start. And we were able to do that. We held them to 20 points in the first quarter and jumped out on them. So I was pretty pleased with the start of it. The only bad part about the whole game was the third period, where we kind of got a little lackadaisical and let them in the game. But I thought overall it was a pretty good defensive effort.
One of the things that you did early in the ball game, and I don't know whether this will be a trendsetter or not, but get Kevin Duckworth a chance to go one-on-one, he paid big dividends.
Well, it was different tonight. We wanted to go after Mutombo inside. We thought Duck could score. He scored on him in preseason, and they weren't doubling him. And when they don't double him, then it's, you know, you go to him a lot then, because they're not going to come at him. Then let him go one-on-one. He's one of the best in the league when you allow him to go one-on-one. So we wanted to keep going to him and going to him. And once he got his confidence, and he felt very good out there playing against the big guy.
The word has been tentative and used about Drexler, but he didn't appear to be too tentative today, and I know that you're glad that he's back and scoring at the rate that he was today.
Oh, I thought he played a very good game. He's been getting better every day. He's been doing different things. The only thing I really haven't seen him do is really take it to the hole and explode to the basket. And each day he just seems to come around one more notch each time. He shot the ball extremely well tonight, which was really good to see too, because that's something that comes as this progression comes for him. So he played a very good game. I wasn't going to put him back in the fourth period, but I didn't have a choice.
Hey, speaking of fourth period, now there were some rookies that were sitting over saying, Coach, you know, we got a big lead. You know, I know we got a minutes problem, but can we have some of this opening night?
I had plans to do that. They went from 26 to 19 quick, then went down to 13. And you can't fool around in this league. I put those guys back in, hoping to build it up and then get the guys back into the game. But I had plans of playing a lot earlier, but Denver had other plans.
We spoke about minutes, and that's going to be a concern of yours all year long, how to keep everyone at least somewhat satisfied. Do you have a plan? You have a sense or feel of how your rotation is going to go?
I really do. I'm going to start pretty much with 9 people, I think, and Mark and Mario and Cliff and Rod off the bench. Tracy will try to work in there when we can, but it's just too difficult to play 10 guys. And there's going to be some nights we may go with Mark first, or we may go with Mario first. I'm going to try to do that in the first half especially. And then the second half, we'll just see how the half goes and how our matchups are. But I think that's the best way to go. And I've talked to all the guys and said you're going to have a little patience until we figure this out and see what the best teams are out on the floor.
All right, in trying to figure out minutes, you also have to figure out a style. Do you have the style of play for that 9 players that you feel comfortable and will work most effectively all the time?
I really do. I think with the addition of Rod and Mario, and then you put Cliff out there with Mark, we have 4 guys who can really play. And Mario and Rod and Cliff gives us an offensive team out there, which sometimes we haven't had in the past, plus a pretty good defensive team. So I think we have a pretty good idea what we want to do with the different combinations, and I think it's going to be a nice balance and a lot of flexibility for us.
All right, the crowd out there wants to know. Bill Shawnee called a play at the intermission, and he said it was a play set up for Tracy Murray. He went one-on-one. Were you setting up Tracy Murray before the end of the half, and were you setting up Reggie Smith to end the game?
Hey, tell the truth now.
We were setting Reggie Smith up to end the game, but I don't remember going to Tracy in the first half.
No, I don't mean the first half. No, right at the end here.
You're
at the end.
You're 50%, Bill.
Yeah.
At the end of the half.
I was right.
Well, that's going to wrap it up for us here. We have the head coach, and I know that anytime you win a ball game at home, you're happy. You got another ball game coming up. Phoenix, perhaps a quick preview before we turn you loose.
Well, we're looking forward to that game. They've been picked by a lot of people, and they're coming into our building. We want to come out and really play well. We've talked about this. We want to have a strong first month, and they're the first big test we have, and we want to come out and establish ourselves.
Well, a confident Rick Adelman will be back with a look at highlights right after this. Rick Adelman told us that he was really happy with the way that his team played, and whenever they can get out into the open court, this is still the most dangerous team in the NBA. And Mario Elie and Rod Strickland, they promise a connection from New York City that should be special the entire season. But Portland tried to stretch out the Nuggets. The Nuggets had played the night before. They didn't do a good job in the first half of transitioning back from offense to defense, and that left a lot of easy opportunities for Portland. Of course, that kind of play can also cause you to lose a little bit of concentration, but they were up to the task when they had to tonight. Portland was happy to see Drexler back. And on that play, Chris Jackson was more happy as Clyde handed the ball right to him, trying to make a pass over to Rod Strickland, and it was an easy 2 for Chris Jackson. Jackson, a much improved player over the last 2 seasons, in much better condition, has always had the ability to shoot the ball deep out on the floor, and he was the scoring story for the Nuggets in the second half of play. A big third and fourth quarters to finish the night with 32 points. But one player is never enough to counter 3, and you can see the Trailblazers in a 3-on-1 fast break position. Jerome Kersey with the easy opportunity. Portland, a couple of years ago when they led the NBA in scoring, in wins, they also were one of the leading scoring teams, and it was because they had great balance. Well, tonight they had great balance. It was one of those nights where everyone had a chance to get a little bit of rust off their offensive game, and when Portland plays with that kind of combination of balance and intensity, it usually turns out to be good results. They are looking forward, now that this game is over, to the next ball game with the Phoenix Suns. It is going to be a high-scoring game for sure, and Portland would like to be in transition as much as they possibly can. The story tonight was Portland's aggressive start at the beginning, forcing the Denver Nuggets to become a perimeter team, really keeping them away from getting any kind of inside game going, with the exception of a little bright light for LaFonso Ellis in the second quarter. When Portland is able to defend like that, they're able to get turnovers, they're able to rebound, they're able to stay in the open court. Once that happens, the ball game is usually controlled by them. The good news for Portland, the return of Drexler, who scored 29 in a very short period of time, and a lot of his play was very strong. All right, we're going to come back. We'll take a look at those numbers right after this.
All right, the Blazers win it tonight, ladies and gentlemen, 123-104. For being our post-game guest tonight, Rick Adelman will receive a $100 gift certificate from our good friends at True Value, your store of first choice. Any other highlights, Steve?
Well, the leading scorers, as you see, Clyde Drexler in a short period of time led a balanced attack for Portland, and the good news for all of the Duckworth fans, Kevin got off to a great start to start the season. Chris Jackson, we can call him the unofficial scoring leader in the NBA with 32. That's back-to-back nights for him. LaFonso Ellis had 12 of his 14 in the second quarter. Only got 2 points after that. So defensively, they took him out of the game. Drexler ends up being Portland's leading rebounder. And the Denver Nuggets, it was Reggie Williams. So the guards came back and dug the ball out. But for the Nuggets, it was poor shooting that really did them in. 37% from the field, still shot the ball well from the line. They were out-rebounded. The bench outplayed the Denver Nuggets, and Portland dominated the fast break stats. So it was a game in which Portland won comfortably, and I'm sure Rick Adelman would like to have that kind of command when they play Phoenix on Tuesday night.
I like that shooting percentage for the first game out of the chute, if you will. 51%. You know, that's going to be a goal for the Trailblazers if they can stay in that vicinity.
Layups will do a lot of that for you. And this is a team that has the ability to move the ball up the court, move themselves in a half-court situation. And if they don't stagnate, they certainly could be around 50% in almost every game they play this year.
Well, it's a brand new season. Only 81 games to go, as they say. But I'll tell you, Rick was talking about it. The Phoenix Ball Club in here on a Tuesday night. Barkley, Ainge, they don't have Kevin Johnson, but that'll be a dandy.
I see my job for the season is actually to put an anchor on you and kind of weight you down. You couldn't wait to get this one all enthusiastic, and now you can't wait for Barkley in
that's
game
going to be a
2.
great game. They are big adversaries right here in the West, and why not?
Well, it's been a great rivalry, and we'll find out whether Barkley is going to make them a better finishing team. He showed it last night in their game in which they won. Danny Ainge came in to make a big contribution, but this is going to be a tougher game for them, and they hope, Portland does, that they don't repeat the mistake they had a year ago where the Suns blew them out.
I enjoyed it, Steve-O. We'll be together again on Tuesday. Thank you, ladies and gentlemen, for being with us. Blazers win it tonight in big fashion. So, to you basketball fans and sports fans, wherever you may be, Bill Schonely, good night, everybody.